Have you ever asked yourself the question, who am I? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Who am I? And what is my purpose? What do I want to become in this life that I have been given? If you've asked yourself that question, put a 1 in the chat. If you haven't, then put a 0. Let's have an honest little survey. Yeah? We're not going to be long. Everybody all right?
Yes.
This is just, we're just laying a foundation, and next week we're going to go for it. If you don't mind, yeah? Because we want to do a deep dive into the mastery of time. Yes? You ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's look at a definition we can all appreciate where goals are concerned. Goal, an aim or purpose, something that you want to achieve, the result or achievement towards which effort is directed, to which effort is directed. Aim, end, okay? Goal. Now, very important word, aim and purpose, because without aim and purpose, we don't have any goals. So these two things are key. And that effort, must be directed towards something very specific. And when you have a goal, you have a singularity of focus, and to the degree that you can focus, then your time during that period is utilized to its maximum potential, because you are not allowing anything to distract you until you achieve your goal. Do you have a 2022 goal? Do you have a goal for May? Do you have a goal for June? Do you have measurable periods for your ultimate goal for 2022? We'll go into that a little deeper later if we have time. Time is flying. But we just laid a foundation. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
So let's look at goals between birth and death. Did you have a goal for your first year of life? You did. We all had a goal between birth and the first year of life. And most of us achieved that goal. Most of our goals, the ultimate goal for many of us was to walk by way of one. Some of you were lazy babies. And we're so busy, on your mother's mammary gland getting fed, you forgot about walking. So let's look at these goals. All of us should have a 1-year goal, a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal, and a 25-year goal, and a life goal. If you have a 1-year goal, put 1 in the chat. If you literally have a 5-year goal, put that in the chat. Enough, put 5 in the chat. If you have a 10-year goal, put 10 in the chat. If you have a 25-year goal, put 25 in the chat. If you have a life goal, put L in the chat. To have a life goal means we're understanding. We've come into the understanding what our purpose is. Because some people struggle with a life goal because they don't know what their purpose is. And if you don't know what your purpose is, you can't plan to do something that is not the reason why you are here for all the days of your life. So many of us are coasting until we find our purpose. And then we can allow our natural purpose or reason for being alive to take us to our ultimate destiny. All right? Mm-hmm. It's my favorite symbol, if I'm honest with you, because I think that symbol in the middle really captures life. And if we looked at our life from that perspective, that is constantly ebbing away, then it will force us to really get into gear. So let's look. When we were babies, we all had goals: to crawl, to sit up, to walk, to run, to speak, to leave home and get away from those crazy people who reared us. Many of us, one of the goals was to leave home, right? Yeah. But when you're young, I don't know who does not imitate their parents. The imitating of your parents is that you want to walk like them. You want to feed yourself. You want to move away from dependency. And leaving home is one of those levels of moving away from dependency. To be able to feed, clothe, and shelter yourself. When you can do those three things, you can really say that I have become an adult. Yeah. And most of us have that as a goal for our lives. Now, in just sticking with goals, these are more questions that I want you to consider. Yeah. I wish I had these slides to put in the chat, but I don't have them available for that right now. What and who do you want to be? That's a real question. What do you want to have as a material possession in this life? Yeah? Or would you want as a standalone achievement? The standalone achievement to be of your life. There's got to be one thing. You won something, you did something. What is that standalone achievement that you would like to be remembered for, if not by anybody else, by yourself? And do you have personal and family goals? Many of us say, I want to be like Jesus. Well, there's only one Jesus. So the most we can be is Christ. Yeah, let's move on. So unfortunately, there's a vast amount of the population that have absolutely no goals worthy of public conversation. Hence, their time is bleeding out, and they do not, they're not on the list of being those who have a real solid purpose and reason for being on this planet. Up until this point, I'm hopeful that after this little discussion, you will focus much more acutely on the importance of time and the importance of having a goal. We have about 15 areas in which we're going to discuss in regards to time mastery, and goal setting is just one of them, but it's exhausting, but we've got to go through it, okay? Now, if you receive £5 million or dollars, what would you do with it? What would you do with it? I want you to answer that question. What would you do with $5 million or pounds if you received that today? How would it alter you as a person? What would you do differently? If you already know what your purpose in life is, all that money would do for you is take you faster to your goal. You wouldn't say, oh, well, I'm not going to go back to work. I'm not going to do this anymore. If you already have a goal, the resources will just take you to your conclusion quicker, because money only makes us more of what we already are. And if we don't like who we are, and if we don't like what we have become, then obviously when you acquire some money, then you engage in a full personality change. Okay, you redefine yourself based upon money, which is not it's not a good place to be. All right, because you have to set your goals and be working towards the accomplishment of them, whether you have money or not. The money will come if you discipline yourself and focus on your accomplishments and that which you have set out to achieve. Now, as we just wind down the clock, and then we can go into our Q&A, because I really want to engage you more so than anything. If you found out that you had a limited amount of time to live, what would you do differently? Because at some point, we're all going to have a limited time to live. Hence the reason why this symbol is very refreshing. And it's important that we all get one of these, because it reminds us every day that this which we enjoy, called life, is not forever. It's only forever if we do something significantly whilst we are physically alive that others will remember and reference when we're physically gone. So immortality is predicated upon us being able to connect to the future in the present. Okay? And that takes tremendous effort to achieve. All right? So let's move back to where we were. So coming into finances and hearing bad terminal news forces us to focus on priorities. Because if you heard news that you weren't going to be around, after a few years, you would do things differently as of that moment, not the next day, that moment. You will seek to achieve your priorities. Yeah? Sounds a little morbid, but it's real. Okay? It is real. All right. So let's move on real quick. Urgency. A level of urgency or applying importance and requiring swift action should not be based upon receiving bad news. If we value the time that we've been given, then whether the news is good or bad, we should move at a particular pace. We should be quick thinking. We should be fast moving, not sometimes, all the time, okay? As we pursue our goals, we got to pursue our goals with a spirit